Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're going to do a tech video. Don't worry, Kim will be back on the weekends as normal, but today we're doing a midweek tech video. And you phone geeks out there who are into vintage telephone equipment, you're going to like this one because this is something really interesting. There's not a lot of these around. There's probably only a couple of them out there. I managed to snag this very cheaply at an auction. And what on earth is it? It is actually a TeleTrainer. It was used to train people in the 60s and 70s how to use a telephone, namely school children. And why it's so exciting for me to own one of these? Well, I happen to be one of those school children back in the 1970s that had one of these in my classroom. And I love this thing. It kind of blew me away. It's basically a phone line simulator. Allows two telephones to talk to each other, and the person controlling it here with these switchboard switches, these are actual switchboard switches, can send a dial tone, a busy signal, and can ring left or right telephone. There is also a monitor function and a headphone jack. So basically you were like the operator coming around the back. We're going to take a look here. You've got your power input here. And these are, back in those days, there was the 4-prong telephone jacks. These are actually 8-prong, which is really interesting too, because you don't really see the stuff like this. These TeleTrainers were totally custom made by the phone companies. And this one was made by Northern Electric for Bell Canada. And this one was actually made around 1965. And what's really interesting about this one was it was very advanced for the time. It is fully transistorized. And AT&T had a version of their own made by Western Electric that had tubes in it. So Bell went way out of its way, technology-wise, and the transistors used in this are the 696, the 2N696, the first transistors ever made. In 1959 they were released, and so to find their way into something like this in 1964 was quite amazing for the time. We'll dive into that momentarily. But here we go, guys. I'm actually going to the actual telephones that came with this. There was 2 green telephones. There's a picture I found online of one of these systems. That's what it looked like, with 2 dial telephones that were green. And one of them was a business phone system with the 5 buttons on the front, or 5 lines with a hold. I am going to hook this telephone up to it. We're going to figure out how to get this thing working, what all of those pins do on the back of those jacks. But this unit provides all the signaling, a voice path, a ringer, a generator, and it even runs the lights and the hold on one of these phones. So, but of course, no schematics. I'm going to have to figure out how to wire this thing up, but it is doable. I'll figure it out. The other thing is, this is the box that it came in. Really cool. Look at that. The Teleformateur, which is, of course, French. And there we go. There's the old-fashioned Bell Canada logo. So we know this did belong to Bell. And this is what was on it. And this is interesting, too. Look at that, 7706. So we know that this is from 1977 June, and this company here, Reliance Incorporated in Montreal, whoever this person was the last to use it. Pretty cool. And yeah, what's in this cool box? Just this box alone is actually pretty cool. And we'll open it up here. And yeah, look at this packaging, really old-fashioned. But this is the front cover to the thing. And there's the power cord inside, which we're not going to use Very typical for the time. The ground pin, of course, is broken off. You can see this cord's been through hell. It's gone to hell and back, but we'll use a better cord than that. What's cool about it is it's just a standard plug, so I can plug a different cord into the back of the thing. Anyways, yeah, no, this case is actually pretty darn cool. Okay, guys, I am going to start. We're going to take it apart, and we're going to figure out how to get this thing going with a couple of telephones. And it's going to be cool. Okay, guys. So the cool thing is it's got just a standard power input. So I'm going to pick up this, and here we go, guys. I'm going to plug this in. Let's see what happens. Okay, we'll go like this. Okay, it's in there. Let's come around the front here. No smoke, so that's a good sign. Let's turn on. Nothing. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Plug wasn't in all the way. We got a light that says outlet on it. I don't know why the power light would say that, but also prize for the headphone jack. Kind of weird. But let's try this out. So it had a built-in monitor. I can hear it buzzing there. And you could... Yeah, there you go. And this is the ringer here. Oh yeah. And you can actually hear something inside running. Mechanical. Cool. So, looking at that website, as you see, it came with two telephones. Shows right there. The QECIB control unit. Then it came with two telephone sets. The only available green. Yep, that's right. They were green telephones from what I remember. Yeah, a 564, which is, there's the 500th model, which is a standard telephone set, and then there's the 564, which is one of these with the buttons on the front, multi-line. Now, looking at one of these circuit boards, this is similar to what's inside the unit, and this is the technology from the time period, which is mid-60s. And yeah, believe it or not, we went and landed on the moon with this type of technology. Absolutely amazing. But there you go. Those are the 2N696 transistors in there. And those transistors were, let's go over here and I'll show you a little bit about the transistors. There they are. This is actually statues in San Francisco out on the sidewalk. Look at that. It's pretty cool. The 696 transistors, first ever made. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyways, getting back to that article, it shows right here. They were the first silicon transistors manufactured in Silicon Valley in 1958 by Fairchild. And yeah, at that time, they were $150 each, equivalent to $1,635 in today's money. And the first 100 were purchased by IBM to build a computer for a B-70 bomber. So goes to show you how advanced this stuff was in those days. But for those transistors at that cost to end up inside one of these was pretty amazing. Now, one thing about the phone companies back in those days, they built things to last. They didn't want to be repairing anything. So they designed things with the best technology and the best everything went into these. That was the best just because they wanted it to last. And they didn't want it coming back. Any downtime was not good. Not like the crap we build today. Everything's built as cheap as possible and doesn't last. In those days, there was pride in making things, and everything was made here. So guys, next, I'm going to take this apart, and we're going to figure out the wiring, and we're going to figure out how to connect telephones to it. And that'll be fun. Get it up and running back to its original condition. Here we go, guys. Stick around. Look at that stamped on the bottom, BT Company, Bell Telephone Company, and there's a serial number. So these 4 screws, which are also the feet, come out. And on the back, it looks like there's also feet. I'm going to remove those as well. What's really interesting about telephone company equipment, it was all you needed was a flathead screwdriver, one of these. There's no other type of screws used. It's all just flathead. Even these old telephones, if you look on the back, flathead screwdriver. Everything flathead screwdriver. I think that's something to do with history of the phone company. Anyways, yeah, all you need is a flathead screwdriver to be a phone man in those days. Okay, well, I got it apart. It was not easy to get apart. This thing was really stuck together. But yeah, looking inside here, I can see down in there that capacitor 1065. That's October 1965 on that part. I also saw this transformer right here, this can that says trans on it, says 865. So we know, yeah, this is the earliest dates I'm seeing here are 65. However, I do see right there 75, which on that capacitor there. So the headphone jack was added later on. Obviously, this thing probably went through a few different upgrades at different time periods. Yeah, that was added later, obviously, the jack. They just drilled that through the front for a headset to go in, so you could be a real operator. But there you go. That's what it looks like inside. I'm really, those jacks on the back, look at all the connections. Wow. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have to figure out what all those terminals do. And we're going to start wiring a telephone up to it. Okay, guys, stand by. Okay, guys, it didn't take me too long. All I did is I just got a standard telephone, wired it up, picked up the receiver, put it to my ear, and came in here and I touched to these 2 here. And look at that. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Turn down the volume a little bit there. Go back here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so we know those 2 screws are right there are the voice line. Now I'll just figure out what the other ones are. Okay, guys, stand by. Okay, guys, I think I figured out the ringer circuit. It's actually on a separate pair of connections here, which are right there and there. And there we go. It's 166 volts. That's no joke. Look at that when it rings. Yep, no load on it, 166 volts. That would definitely hurt to touch that. That's actually the ring generator down inside there. That big white cap on it. There's a couple big power transistors. I don't know if you can see them there. But yeah, that's generating 160 volts AC. And let me just check. We'll go to the frequency. Let's take a look at the frequency. Oh, look at that. 20 hertz. And it sounds different now that I'm loading it. Weird. Interesting. Anyways, guys, we're getting there. Stick around. Okay, guys, so what I've done is I wired in, I'm using the terminals in the back of these 8-pin jacks as a terminal strip, which works great. And, oh, what do you have to say, Reba? Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Anyways, yeah, getting back to the telephone. What I'm doing is I'm just going to use Cat 5 jacks because they're actually 8 pins. Okay, we know you're there, sweetie. Good girl. Reba likes to talk. anyways, yeah, getting back to this, guys. Okay, so what I've discovered is it's actually a 3-line telephone circuit. You got your ring and your tip, and they're ringing the phone through the ground. It's basically wired as a party line, which makes perfect sense. And what was a party line for you guys that don't know? Well, multiple subscribers were basically sharing the same phone line, and the ringing was done separately, obviously, to ring the party that was being called. And they did that typically through the ground. The ringer on the phone was grounded, and that is exactly the way this wiring is set up. We're ringing the phones through the ground. So here we go. I will show you. And yes, I did modify this phone to wire the ringer out separately. And as you see here, there's 3 wires. The orange wire is one side of the ringer. So between the orange and the white is the ringer, and the white and the blue is the voice circuit. And let's ring the phone. There we go. The phone is ringing, and if I pick that up, hello, 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 hello. Okay, can dial, as you see, that all works. And there we go. Now, all I gotta do is we're gonna figure out this phone, and we're gonna wire him in, and those lights are gonna work too. And then we will have a complete TeleTrainer where we can teach school children how to use the telephone. I was 9 years old when I had this in my classroom, so this kind of blows me away to have one of these in front of me. Like I said, this thing really stimulated my mind back in the day, and probably is what got me into communications at a very young age. And yeah, having one of these now is kind of mind-boggling in a way. But now I know exactly how it works too, because I always wondered as a kid, how does this thing work? You know, this is so cool. There we go, guys. Okay, we're going to move on to hooking up that telephone and having a complete system, and that way I can talk to my cat, Reba. Okay, well, after a lot of experimenting with the wiring, as you can see, I finally got it figured out, and I got it working with 2 telephones, and we even got the supervisory with the lights working on this telephone here, which I now have all apart. And what I did is I just used some Cat 5 cable, as you can see there, the orange wire. It would be absolutely impossible to find these actual 8-pin original jacks. But there was a hole on one side of each of them, which is a keyhole for when you're plugging it in to get it the right way around. So I just found that hole was open, and I just strung in 8 wires from a Cat 5 jack. And why not? That's perfect. We got 8-pin jacks, and Cat 5 is also 8-pin. So that works out perfectly. And look at this, guys. Yeah, telephone's lighting up there. And if I hang up the telephone like that, and I go over here and I ring, yeah. And there we go, the bell is ringing. Pretty cool, I love it. And then if I pick up the telephone, hello, 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 testing 1, 2, 3. It actually works, and the transistors from 1965 are still functional to this day. Look at that. That's a beautiful piece of equipment. Love how they built this thing. Bell, Canada. It's interesting, the logo on here says service. I guess it was built by the service department. Okay, I'm gonna hang that up. Let's ring the other telephone, which is over here. You can see it's ringing. And I will, hello, answer this telephone too, which actually sounds a lot clearer. This telephone is more modern and uses a condenser microphone, while that one used actually a carbon microphone. So much clearer sound on these telephones. Okay. Now, all I gotta do is put it back in the case and set her all up. Okay, hold on. We'll do that now. Okay, guys, there we have it. A fully restored TeleTrainer, Tele4 Mature. And yeah, it is up and running, and we have everything working perfectly on it. Here we go. I can ring the telephone over here, and look at that. Yeah, the telephone is ringing. And in those days, you would push the line that's ringing and pick it up. And hello, 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 hello. You can start having your conversation wherever you're calling. Hang up your phone and you can dial, say a number. And the operator person over here would, oh, that line is busy. So you would then hang up your call and try your call again. And let's give him a dial tone. You can start dialing again, and let's try again. If he does this again. And we go over here, and oh look, your call went through as dialed. And the telephone is ringing over here, and this person can pick up, and hello, we can have a conversation. That's how it worked, guys. Isn't that cool? And yeah, I love this. This is, or was, a TeleTrainer used mainly in the 60s and 70s to train school children and other people how to use the telephone. And yeah, as a 9-year-old child, I had this in my classroom. And look at this, guys. Those were the days. The telephone man would come and show the kids. Look at that, he's climbing a pole. The good old days. Wish we could go back to those times, guys. It was much simpler, but it was a lot of fun. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. I'll be doing some more tech videos like this. And I'm always looking for interesting, obscure, oddity type of, especially communication gear. And here we go. The TeleTrainer. Okay, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching.